Is alcohol the devil?
If your goal is to lose weight, yes. And that's because...
What does the future of PT look like?
I think it's going to be challenging with the advancement of AI and certain medications.
The weight loss injections,
Yeah.
it's gone from like Kardashians having them to like
Fred
Z-tier
around the corner.
like celebrities to now it's been rolled out
Yeah.
to anyone really. What
Yeah.
do you think?
I'm in the middle. I'm going to be honest, I'm completely in the middle.
Yeah.
So,
Hey everyone, big thanks for supporting the podcast. We really do appreciate it. If you want to hear more from us, hit the subscribe button or press the bell icon for future updates.
I'm Martyn Pace, owner of Set the Pace Health and Fitness, and I've been a personal trainer and online coach now for far too long, nearly 20 years now.
Have you? 20 years?
I think 17, 18 years now, I think it is, yeah.
Right. Wow.
So a long time in the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, just trying to help people get healthier, fitter, stronger, and live better lives, basically.
Amazing. So that sounds like you've pretty much gone from school to this, but what is the journey? How have you got to this stage?
Well, I never wanted to be a PT.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be a PE teacher.
Oh, did
So
you?
yeah, I did sports coaching and development at uni, Sheffield Hallam, and then I left that to go into what used to be, I think it was called the GTP program, like a fourth year of uni, but it was in a placement at a school. So
Right.
you'd get paid by the school to do your fourth year of learning, so to speak. And you had to find a school that would pay that, and you do your qualification.
Yeah.
And I found Hornsey School, where I went to school, said, yeah, they'll take me on. And then about 2 weeks before the application had to be officially formed, signed and delivered, they said that the budget no longer could afford a placement.
And how long had you prepped for that, like in your mind?
I think I first went to them to talk about me working with them in around the November, December time, and it was in February, so about 2-3 months of me kind of sitting, waiting, thinking I've got everything boxed off. And they said, no, we can't do it, which is obviously fine. But all the other placements in the local area had already been filled. So that meant I had to wait for the next enrolment the next year.
So kind of not fine as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, very annoying.
yeah. Some huge inconvenience.
Yeah.
To you. Yeah.
So I basically, I've always played rugby, I've always played sport, but I've never really been into the gym. I spent that year just going to the gym basically, and I enjoyed it that much that I thought, you know what, I'll get a temporary job, in a gym, just doing something I enjoy, and then reapply the next year. And the way it felt, it worked out was that I just didn't want to go back basically. I enjoyed it that much that I got qualified, I went through all the PT qualifications, found myself a placement, if you like, a place in Cottingham Parks Golf Club. Yeah.
We went to Cotter Parks.
Cotter Parks
for
gym,
years.
yeah.
Yeah. My wife's just rejoined, yeah.
Yes, I was there, had like a work experience placement, and then at the end of that, they then gave me a job, and that was the start. Yeah. And then it just progressed from there. Basic gym instructor, studio instructor, like spinning, circuits, boot camp, that kind of thing. Started to dabble with a little bit with PT, but it wasn't the right kind of area for that in terms of the clientele. So after I think it was 5 or 6 years, I moved to Nuffield Health.
So you went from like
a private gym,
like
private country club.
Yeah, country club.
Yeah,
That's kind of what they
very
call
much
that,
more
though.
of a country club setting to more of a commercial driven gym, so to speak.
Yeah. And just before you go on to that, what were the main differences of working for Birth out of interest? Just from someone who has actually been a member of kind of Birthers type of gym.
I've got to say, I think of my time at Cotter Parks very highly.
Do you?
Yeah, it was a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
There was less sales pressure, less kind of, you've got to hit certain numbers, less target driven, so to speak.
More of a personal kind of touch.
Yeah, very much so. And I genuinely, like, hand on heart, hold that place in very high esteem because it was just such a nice place to work for. Like, I genuinely enjoyed going to work there. The members were nice. And because it had, sounds very snobby me saying this, but it had more of a country club feel.
Yeah.
It attracted a different type of clientele to what you might typically see in a commercial driven gym.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a lot more relaxed and a really nice environment to kind of learn the trade. Obviously, at the time, I didn't think about learning the trade. It was just a job. I just wanted to get active in the job.
Yeah.
But yeah, that certainly put me in a good kind of level playing field to start to learn how to kind of interact with people.
Yes.
Because that's the thing about this industry. It's all about how you get on with people.
I mean,
it's a
what
people-driven industry.
Like when you're in business, I feel like it's the same for us.
Yeah.
It's half doing a good job, but then it's half knowing and creating relationships and creating that trust into it. People have got to buy into you ultimately as a person.
And he just gave me that setting to be able to do that.
Yeah. So it kind of nurtured that side of things.
Certainly,
and then you got thrown into like the
deep
corporate
end where
side.
it was very much kind of, it was just simply, you had to hit numbers, deliver these number of sessions. The more sessions you deliver, the more you get paid. So obviously there's a financial incentive then. And it was great. I mean, I enjoyed my time at Nuffield. I'm not going to say I didn't, but it was very much, it was a different side of the coin compared to the country club.
So do you feel like that gave you a bit more of a commercial experience?
Yeah, I understood the corporate side of it, if you like, a lot more from it. I progressed to being gym manager there as well, so I wasn't just a PT. Became PT manager, so I was in charge of the PT cohort, if you like, in the gym.
So how does that work then when you're in a gym and you're a PT? Do you buy like a space, almost like a hairdresser?
No, different gyms have different ways of running. So Nuffield, you were employed through Nuffield, so it wasn't an external PT where you paid rent.
Yeah,
you were employed by Nuffield. So you had no rent to pay. And this was one of the things that attracted me to there, because obviously when you started out as a PT, if you've got an overhead of rent to pay straight away, there's that extra financial pressure to think, I've got to hit targets, I've got to get clients on board. Whereas they would pay you a basic rate as an employee. You'd work for them in the gym, but then outside of those gym hours, you could do as much or as little PT as you wanted outside of your gym hours.
Right.
So essentially you had two jobs. You had your gym job and then you had your PT job.
And what was your basic hours?
I think we started with 32 hours.
Yeah.
But you could choose when you wanted to reduce those. So everyone started at 32.
That's quite good then, isn't it? You've got flexibility.
Exactly. The contract they gave you was really, really beneficial because, particularly as a start out, because you start on 32, you'd know you're going to be getting X amount from your basic gym job, regardless of your PT, and then anything on top of that was obviously extra. So the idea is you do 32 hours in the gym, 8 hours of PT, so you're working a 40-hour week. But then when you start to progress past the 8 hours of PT, you can opt in to drop your gym hours to 28, 26, 24, whatever it might be, so you can do more PT.
And then how do they make money off you if you're doing PT?
They then take a cut of your earnings from PT, so to speak. So the client would pay the club, not you.
I see. That's how they have kind of control over that.
And it's great. I mean, from a PT perspective, there's an incentive. The more sessions you do, the more your hourly rate goes up. So it's like a sliding scale. So if you only did 8 hours, you'd only earn, I don't know, I can't remember what the numbers were, 20 quid an hour. But if you did 30 hours of PT, you might be up to 30 quid an hour.
Yeah.
So suddenly the rate of pay vastly increases.
That's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah,
I always did wonder as well.
It's one of those places that if I ever someone comes to me and say, how do I get involved in PT? I would always say, go speak to Nuffield about maybe starting there, because the setup structure might be different now. That was quite a few years ago. But compared to other commercial gyms where you have to pay rent and you're solely responsible for bringing clients in.
Because I think when I went to Total Fitness for a few years, this is ages ago, I feel like that's what they rented. Yeah.
So you'd pay X amount per month and it's your decision whether or not you bring a client to them or not. It's nothing to do with the club or the
You're almost
the gym.
renting the space, are you?
Yeah, it's like you say, hairdresser's kind of space.
Yeah.
Whereas Nuffield's approach was certainly a lot more, if I think, beneficial.
It sounds like a almost happy medium to get you kind of
exactly.
Like,
it's that stepping stone.
Yeah, it seems like fairly risk free.
Yeah,
because then you can choose your hours and then you can start to tip the scale. And once you've tipped the scale to the level that you're comfortable, I suppose you then come on to where you are now. So I suppose what was that moment where you thought, right, I need to break away from this and do this completely on my own?
Well, when I became PT manager and then gym manager, obviously I started to see a lot more of the financial side of things from the club's perspective. You see budgets, you see revenue.
How much money they were making off you?
Yeah. How much money I was losing every hour.
Yeah.
And I worked out, me and my wife were getting ready for our wedding, and I was looking at the numbers. I was like, right, if I got all this money, this is how much I'd earn. And it was like, it's kind of a kick in the teeth, so to speak. It was like, why don't I just do it on my own?
And that's what motivated you.
And that's what, that started it. And it's
when did you get married?
2017.
2017. We got married 2016. So,
yeah. And if I'm trying to think, there's a story where I actually got offered a place to set up my own gym by a client of mine at the time. He was a mortgage advisor or solicitor. He was a solicitor. And he was moving premises, and there was a upstairs and a downstairs. And he said, look, I'll convert the downstairs bit for a gym. You can sublet it off me. And that kind of got the juices flowing of, well, actually, I want to do this now. So we kind of explored that. It ended up falling through last minute for whatever reason, something on his part to do with the relocation. But I'd already kind of sowed the seed with Nuffield that I wanted to go alone. And I think it was maybe 3 or 4 months later than that, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it on my own. I found a premises, and that was it, set up on my own. And
so then you found your own, you'd already made the decision, so you're like, fuck it, I'm going to go find my own premises, and I'm going to go ahead still with this plan. Because at that point, I think I'd built up my PT hours, so I think I was doing 30 to 32 of PT, and I was only working 8 hours for the gym. And they had caused a few arguments, because as a gym manager, you were meant to work, I can't remember, it was like something 20 hours was your core hours that you had to do to be able to be the manager, to do the manager's role. And I was only doing 8. But they didn't want to get rid of me because I was still the biggest PT earner. So if they got rid of me, they'd obviously lose all that revenue from PT. So we came to a happy medium, and we made it work for a couple of months where it was kind of a happy medium between the two. But I just knew there's so much more scope for me to develop if I had my own place. Like, I wouldn't be limited to opening hours that they want to enforce. I wasn't limited to having to teach classes or do budgets, all that kind of stuff for the club. It was just all me. Then absolutely.
That was when I made that decision to go alone.
And never looked back.
Never looked back, Best decision I've ever made. By far. Hardest.
Yes.
But the best.
It is challenging, and I suppose we'll go on to that. So that was 20. So did you get married in the same year as you set up a business?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think now. Is it 2017 or 2016? I'm sure it's 2017. My wife will kill me if I get that date wrong. I'm sure it's 2017. And I opened in 2018 January.
Did you?
Yeah.
2018 in January.
I left Nuffield kind of October, November time, 2017, and then spent 2-3 months fitting out my gym. And then just opened, I think it was the first week of January 2018.
And January is quite a good time to start a gym, I suppose.
Yeah, you think that. It's actually not.
Is it not?
No.
So is that just a...
I don't know if it's changed over the years, but certainly since I've been in the industry, February is the busiest time.
Is it?
Yeah.
So everyone in January is like, oh, I'm not going to join the gym yet. And then in February, they're like, right, I actually need to get off my ass and do something.
I think it's partly down to first week of January is generally the hangover from New Year's Eve. So people don't really want to act.
Yes.
Okay? So there's all the chocolates in the house. Still.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They kind of put it on hold.
Yeah.
Then there's the fact that they've just spent a fortune at Christmas.
Yes.
So they can't really afford it. So they've got to wait for January payday.
Yeah. Money's probably one of the most important things.
Exactly. And then February comes and they're like, oh, I want to do it. There's no chocolates in the house. I've just been paid. I'll then start.
Yeah.
And that's what I've found is that typically February is my busier month rather than January.
Yeah.
And I think it's more a case of they've had that kind of shock of Christmas. They've had a month of getting back to reality, thinking, oh, God, I feel crap. I feel a bit overweight. Clothes are feeling a bit tight.
Feel confident.
Exactly, and that's the trigger, like I say, is that they just feel crap. Because everyone can have a big binge for a Christmas dinner or a night out, and you feel crap, but it's not really enough to start that process. Okay, it's about the day in, day out feeling worse than you did 3-4 months ago, and that only comes from obviously a little bit more time. So typically by the end of January, that's hit home. That people start to feel a bit more lethargic, a bit kind of clothes are feeling tighter.
Yes.
Low in energy, low in motivation. Then that's when it typically starts.
That's interesting. So then, in January 2018. You were then, right, I'm on my own, this is my own business, better do this now. Like, hit the ground running. And I suppose, could you take, what were the, like, were you under contract? Could you take any of the clients? Was there any, like, non-compete stuff?
I had to sign a contract or a form or something saying I couldn't directly approach any member from Nuffield.
Yeah.
For I think it was 3 or 6 months. There was a time period involved. I couldn't remember what it was.
But they couldn't do anything about people approaching you.
Exactly. Yeah. So obviously, I told my clients that I was leaving at October, November time. I said, look, I'm doing this. There was nothing in my contract saying I couldn't tell them what I was doing.
Yeah.
Now, as long as I didn't verbally
Approach
say,
them. Yeah.
would you like to follow me? I've told them the information. If they then choose to come to me and
Which
say,
I think is fair. Yeah.
And I genuinely, people think you must have kind of lied to people about it, but I genuinely didn't approach people. I left it up to their choice because I don't want someone to come to me out of guilt. Like,
yes, of course.
Because if they've been with training me for 2 years and I say to them, I'm setting up on my own, I don't want them to feel there's kind of a requirement, I better support him just to help him get started. Well, I want them to come to me out of their own choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I genuinely didn't approach people, but I would say 75% of people did follow me when I moved. The only people that didn't was people who couldn't because of location or travel. Because obviously Nuffield city centre. I'm based in Hessel now, so it's a bit of travel to get there. It's only 5 minutes, but some people who don't have a car or rely on public transport, it maybe wasn't the easiest thing to do.
So did that de-risk it a little bit when you started off?
Yeah, I kind of did a few kind of scenarios. I love a spreadsheet. So
God, I'm the opposite.
I put all these scenarios together of how much would I earn if
planning.
25% followed me, 50%, 75%. Okay, and then based on that, I would then be able to work out kind of a guesswork of what I should have after 2-3 months, and then built it from that. And I guess at the end of the day, I had this kind of contingency plan that I could always freelance as an instructor. Yeah, because I was spinning qualified, I could teach boot camps.
So that was a backup.
Yeah, so if I knew if I was really struggling, I could go to a Total Fitness or a David Lloyd's or a Nuffield and say, well, if you need a group instructor, I can come on these days and teach classes. And at the time, my wife was working full time. So there was less. We had no dependents.
Yeah. The glory
days of no kids.
Yeah. When you just got married and then you're like, what should we do now?
Yeah.
On a weekend, I'll just go for like a walk or go for a nice meal.
Exactly. Just go out and just enjoy go away for the weekend
instead of some kind of torturous weekend.
Stuck in the house playing board games or reading books.
Board games, or pretend cups of tea or.
So anyway, there was I guess there was less financial pressure because there was just us two.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter because of course it did, but there was less kind of risk of it because we knew we were getting X amount from her wage.
Yes.
And we'd built a kind of a time frame of 6 to 12 months of building up, and then from there, then I'd make that decision of okay, well now do I need to explore other avenues to boost my revenue? But thankfully, it didn't need to. So.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, and I've been pretty much, touch wood, I've been pretty much full ever since.
That's so good.
It's very rare that I have spaces. I've literally had 3 people in the last 2 days. I've had 2 consult calls today and yesterday where they want to start PT, and I've had to say, look, I'm full. You can go on the waiting list, or you can work with me online, but in person PT is full.
Yeah. That we'll get onto that, but that is fantastic and well done. It's like that shows you that you're obviously good at what you do. Yeah,
it's something that I often I need to remind myself of, and it's something obviously I preach to clients about self-worth and rewarding, congratulating yourself on your wins, but it's something I find very hard to do myself because it's not an easy industry. I know people often look at PTs and think all you do is exercise and eat well. It's like there's a lot more to it.
Of course.
Very much behind the scenes, the psychology of things, we interacting with clients, the planning behind it.
Absolutely, and everyone has their own different approach, don't they? I feel like with PTs, and there's a lot of PTs as well.
Exactly.
So you're competing with a lot of other like individuals, but then there's probably a lot of demand for it. But anyway,
But so then I think so. Going back onto that, particularly when COVID hit and there was lockdown.
Oh God,
I think. So I sometimes forget that I have been in this industry as long as I have been, and there's so many PTs that come and go, and I've seen literally hundreds. Where they last a year, 2 years, and they disappear, and they work in a factory, or they've gone back to the manual labour job, or they're working in an office, and you say, well, why didn't you carry on? Oh, it's too hard. There's too many PTs. And that always makes me think, actually, I must be pretty good at what I do because I've lasted this long.
Yes, of course.
I'm still full, and I've still got demand.
Yes, that is definitely the case. But even then, it's kind of like, I know what you mean. It's kind of should I congratulate myself on that? Like,
yeah, because I'm always in the business day to day. You kind of forget what people's perceptions of me will be from the outside.
Yeah.
Like this lady today came on a call to me because she'd heard so many good things about me, and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Who was saying that? Because you just I don't see it.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the business. So it's always nice to hear, but yeah, it's quite hard to fully appreciate, particularly when you're a one-man band and you've got different hats to wear different days of the week. And yeah.
So you set up the business and then you just got married. And I suppose when did the family element
Harrison,
intertwine?
Yeah, our eldest is now 6, so 2019.
2019.
So I think it was a year and a half after set up on my own that we kind of.
So your business, do you feel, was solidified?
Yeah, I always said to me and Helen spoke. I said, if I'm going to do it, it needs to be before we start a family, because we need that kind of setup.
Yeah.
We don't want to be doing this whilst also trying to raise a newborn or have the extra expenses of a family. If we get it sorted beforehand, then we know we're kind of set up, because then she can go on maternity leave.
Yeah.
We always had a feeling that we wanted one of us to be a stay-at-home parent. Helen had that as a child. Her dad stayed at home.
Yeah.
And I didn't, but I think I see the benefit of that, where having a parent home, just emotionally and developmentally, having a parent always there.
So did you think that Helen should go? Well,
we had a
sorry, Helen.
I wouldn't say it was a debate, but
yes.
We worked out that she was very high up in the role that she had. She was the general manager of a hotel.
Yeah. So you thought, got a good job, why would you give it up?
Yeah, but we looked at the long-term development. Like she was pretty much, unless she owned a hotel, there's nowhere really for her to go. Whereas the scope for me as being my own boss, I could progress it as much or as little as I wanted to, with a bit more scope to further increase revenue. So we kind of made the decision that hers might be better at that moment in time, but there's more scope for me long term. And I think she wanted to stay at home.
Yeah.
The maternal instinct. I think she wanted to be the stay-at-home mum.
Yeah.
So we made that choice so that when Harrison came, she went on maternity, and that was pretty much it for her career, if you like, put on hold. Whereas I really transformed mine to be that sole breadwinner, so to speak.
Yeah, because you'd already kind of like pre-agreed that was the situation.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my we've got 6-year-old and 4-year-olds, so it's been a while now, but it's still one of my biggest drivers is that, I don't know, call me old-fashioned, I like to be able to provide for my family. I like the idea that if we need something as a family, I want to be able to provide that.
Yes.
I see that as my role, so to speak. So yeah, that is a big driver in my business still now, because I think I want to be able to do my best. I want to earn as much, not everything's about money, but be able to do things as a family that we want to do. Trips to Disney, Lapland, holidays, being able to take days off work just to spend time with the kids. That comes with financial backing. And you can't do it unless you're earning enough at the end of the day. So I think for me to push my business to the next level, that's always a big driver for me, is family.
Yeah. I think when you have your kids, it does change. For me anyway, I feel like it's made me more efficient.
Yeah.
And then I focus on the things that probably do matter, rather than wasting my time on things that don't matter.
Yeah.
Partly because there's a lot more riding on it, because it's your family, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also because kid life is just like, right, there's this and then this and then this and then this and then this. And you're thinking like 2 steps ahead at all times, aren't you? Just to manage your household.
Just to get through your day.
Yeah. So then as you like these two worlds are just like steamrolling into each other and then just crashing. And how did you find that transition?
Yeah, I think the beauty for me is obviously being my own boss. That was something that I genuinely still today appreciate, is that I can be in charge of my working day. And for me, that's always been a big thing. So I was able to, when things got tough, which we'll probably talk about in a bit, we've got 2 twins. 4-year-old twins. That was hard, I'm not going to lie. So there was times where it was very difficult. So I was able to have that time. So you know what, I'm going to take another day off. I'm going to have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Because yes, it might have hit financially, and as much as that's important for me, I want to make sure that I'm there for Helen, I'm there for the kids. And that was that freedom to be able to do that. Well, I'm not having to report to a boss and ask for time off. I can just do it.
It's good that you did that, because I feel like one of the errors that I made was when I went back to work, I was quite rigid. I struggled with that separation, I think, between home and work. And like, I remember once, like, Tony, like, having a really bad morning, and just we'd been up all night, and she was just really upset, and I just fucked off to work, like, and I didn't need to do that. I could have waited an hour.
Exactly. Yeah.
It wasn't anything that couldn't have waited.
Yeah.
But then after that, I think, after quite a lot of conversation and just been like, look, something just clicked.
Yeah.
I think the main thing was, if my home life is okay, then my business is okay, and then my home life will be even better.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Then it's like a positive kind of like cycle, almost a positive snowball.
Yeah.
Whilst it was the opposite before.
Yeah.
And we really struggled the first 6 months, both of us.
Yeah.
But we figured it out.
I mean, I still, to this day, I still find it hard to do that. Like, I still look at the bottom line.
Yeah.
If I take a day off here, that's going to be, I'm going to be X amount of £100 down or whatever. It's like, but then I always think back, okay, the kids are only young once.
Yes.
I ain't going to get this time back. I can earn a couple of £100 next year.
Yeah.
Does it really matter?
Yeah.
And I've got to say, Helen is very good at keeping me on the straight and narrow with that, because I'm very much, like I say, business driven. I like to be able to be the provider, and I need her nagging at me in the year. So come on, let's just take a day off. It's summer holiday, like prime time. We were saying then, summer holidays. We've got 6, 7, 8 weeks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Where she's going to have all 3 every single day. There's no break for her.
That's really hard. Yeah.
And as much as we're lucky enough to have family around us that do help, like her parents, my parents.
Yeah.
And they're always, they're eager to help out.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It is
it's
great.
We're very lucky in that respect. But at the same time, we're very self-sufficient, me and Helen, that we don't like to rely on them.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we use them. And if they want to see the kids, we'll go out for the day with them, whatever.
Yeah.
But we don't want to expect that from them. So yeah, we always try to say within a holiday, I try to take at least a day off every week, or at least every 2 weeks, where I just don't go to work.
That's great.
Go out for the day. Or,
But
yeah, it takes her to nag at me in my ears to remember that, because, like I say, it's too easy to get honed in the business.
You can get bogged down. Yeah.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
And I think maybe different in my industry, maybe to yours, is because I have set times for clients. Like, I can't just turn up to work at whatever time I want.
Yeah.
It's, if they're booked in at 6 o'clock, I've got to get there at 6 o'clock. Like, I can't just turn up late because I want.
You've committed to that.
Yeah, exactly. And if I don't give that service, they're going to leave.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've always prided myself on, is I give that service because that's what they pay for.
Yeah. So it is a bit different.
So I would love the. I say I'm fed up of waking up at 5:30 these days. Getting too old for it now. But I'm looking forward to that point in my career where I can say, you know what, I'm not going to start till 9 o'clock. So I can enjoy a lie-in with the kids, or I can enjoy just
a lie-in with the kids.
Well, okay. Getting up at 6 o'clock instead of 5:30.
I've heard that actually does happen. Like, the kids do sleep in eventually, but not at the moment.
No. I can testify at 6 and 4 they still don't.
Yeah. No. Ours is 7 and 3, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. I'm not there yet, but being able to do that. But I'm hopefully looking forward to it at some point.
And I think it's that long-term thinking, isn't it? Is really important in business. I think that for me. I'm just thinking, maybe this isn't quite how I want it to be right now, but that's the aim, is to have more financial freedom and more time freedom eventually. And you figure that out as you go along, don't you? You make the mistakes and then you change it.
Of course, yeah.
And then you improve it, and then you make another mistake and then you change it. And I think the people that probably do well are the people that do make changes rather than just carry on making the same. Like errors.
Because I mean, particularly in my industry, there's only one of me. Yeah. There's only one 6 a.m. in the morning. There's only one 10 a.m. in the morning. So once I reach my capacity of clients, there's very much else I can do to earn more unless I get staff. And like I was saying to you there, I don't want staff. My business model that I want to implement and stick to is just me on my own. I don't want to have that extra responsibility, the stress of having staff. So
I like that though. I like the fact that you've got that, like, you've got that direction and that you're quite like focused on that, Because I've just kind of like wandered through business, just thinking I'm doing the right thing, and I've made a lot of errors, but I've done a lot of like.
But those mistakes will have got to you to where you are now.
Yes, 100%. Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, like, I've made plenty of mistakes as well in my time where I've tried to do. You've probably seen them online, like 8-week competition programs or 12-week competition summer shreds, whatever. I've dabbled with those in the past.
Yeah.
I've learned that they just simply don't work as a business sustainably for the long term.
Yeah.
And the way I progress my business is to create more of a sustainable approach so that I can, over the next 5-10 years, work less hours without having any less impact on my finances.
Yeah. And I think you're doing some really interesting, cool things to do that, but I will get onto that last.
Yeah.
So back on the kids side of things, so you've son in
Harrison 2019,
and then
the twins came along. Charlie that came along in 2021.
So that was 3 years, two years later.
So we had 3 under 3 at one point.
So did you know that you were having?
No, it was during lockdown.
Yeah.
We were pregnant, and I wasn't allowed to go for the scan. So I don't remember like the hospital rules.
My brother was the same. Yeah. It's grim, really. Isn't it?
Looking back, I mean, obviously I didn't experience it firsthand, but it must have been tough for Helen because she went to pretty much every single appointment on her own. But yeah, there was the day where she went for a scan. I was at work. I vividly remember it. She went to the appointment. I knew she had a scan. She came in halfway through the morning. I'd left a gap for her to come in and say hello. And she just walked in and she showed me a photo. And she's like, there's the baby. And I was just looking through. There was like 4 or 5 pictures. I was looking through. I was like, and nothing twigged at that point, right? And then she went, that's the second one. And I was like, proper mic drop kind of moment.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And then it was obviously that was the start of the twin journey. But yeah, we had no idea until that point because I think whatever the scan is it 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 12 weeks.
12 weeks. Yeah.
Up until that point, we just thought we were pregnant. There was no early signs of having twins. Yeah. We've got twins in the family, so I've got twins on my mum's side.
Yeah.
And she's got twins on both sides of her family. So technically, you could argue 3 of the 4.
Yeah.
We've got twins, but there's different types of twins. These 2, they're identical, and it's just genetic chance. There's no there's no genetic, if you like, follow on. This isn't something that is in our genes passed on from family. This is just something that's just happened.
Yeah.
So
by
anyone
chance.
could, exactly. Anyone could have this particular type of gene, twin. So 2 identical twins.
So you hadn't planned for that, obviously. No one does.
Nope.
So then, I suppose you've got the lead up to that of planning for a family of 3 becoming a family of 5.
Yeah.
Then how did you find that? I'm really interested because I found it. We found it at our first really difficult because it was transition from non-parent to parent, and that is just unbelievably hard.
I've got to say, I think having had 1 to 3, I think 0 to 1 personally, I think is the toughest.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like I hope, hand on heart, 1 to 3 is very, very, very tough. But at least you got some life experience to draw back on.
Yeah.
You know what it's like to change nappies. You know what it's like to have sleepless nights. You've done the feeding, the weaning, all that kind of stuff. To go from 0 to 1 is very, very tough.
Yeah.
But it was certainly a
logistical nightmare.
Yeah. We had to move house.
Because
obviously the house we were in at the time wouldn't have been big enough. We had to get a new car. I'd just bought Helen a new car for her 30th. About a year before or something like that.
Yeah.
And that had to be sold, and we had to buy a big people wagon.
Yeah.
To pro that. It's just logistically, like you say, everything changes.
Yeah.
So that was the initial big shock. Was thinking I'm very pragmatic in terms of the practical side of things. I was thinking, right, well, our house isn't big enough. We've got to move house. We need a big car.
Planning,
the planning of
got the spreadsheet out.
Love a good spreadsheet. So that's where my mind went straight away. Of thinking, I've got to earn more money. We've got 3 kids to support now, just not 2. But it was more the day-to-day stuff that was the biggest shock. I'm not going to lie. And it sounds daft because people have 3 kids. Right? That's different ages. People have 3 kids, but having 2 that wake up at intermittent times during the night. So Charlie will wake up at 2 a.m. Then Zach will wake up at 3 a.m.
That's just
and then Charlie again at 5
That
a.m.
is.
Like, you literally don't sleep at all. And I know everyone's parents' journey is different. Like, yours that you're living will always feel like it's the toughest job in the world.
Yeah,
I'm not detracting
you're right,
away with that from everyone.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
But having had the one child and then having 3 twins, it's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
And because they were so close as well, like 3 under 3, like everyone knows how terrible the 2s can be, right? Luckily, Harrison wasn't too bad. He was a pleasant 2-year-old. He was more kind of terrible 3s rather than terrible 2s.
Yeah.
But still, like, lockdown, twins, terrible 3, it was a lot to cope with. So yeah, it was challenging to say the least.
God,
but, weirdly enjoyable.
Yes, of course it is. Yeah,
like, the positives always outshine the
they do,
negatives.
and that is the thing. It's like it's the best but hardest thing I kind of
100%
describe it as.
Totally agree with that. Yeah, it's the most challenging thing anyone will ever do, but it's the most rewarding and most enjoyable thing you'll ever do as well. On
a day-to-day, like, look forward to going home every single day.
And I guess it was quite nice as well. Something I've been reflecting more on these past, I'd say, more year or so, is that you see a different side of childhood when you've got twins. And it's different, but...
bit more respect for your parents.
There's that.
But or not, in some cases.
They interact so different.
Yeah.
Like, together. Like, it's... You only ever see if you've got twins. It's something that if you don't have twins, you'll never ever see day to day. Little things like when they're bed next to each other, they will go to gravitate to hold hands.
Yeah.
Like, and it's things like that I feel like we've been blessed in that respect, because we are very lucky. Not many people get to see that.
No, they don't.
And we have.
Yeah, it's unique. It's quite a unique experience.
Hard because. It also brings about different stresses.
They start crawling, and then one's crawling over there, one's crawling over there.
You're outnumbered.
And then you've got another one flying around.
It's completely outnumbered. So days to soft play suddenly become a nightmare, because you got to think, well, where's safe for 3 kids in case 3 run away rather than just 2? Because obviously me and Helen have to decide, well, which ones do we go after?
It's been quite overwhelming as well when you're in COVID and you haven't got that much support and you've just got to deal with it. It's like,
Luckily, it was at the back end of COVID, so the restrictions were just lifting. So when they were actually born, I was able to go in the hospital because they were born 8 weeks premature, so they're in NICU. So they spent their first 3 or 4 weeks in intensive care.
Yeah,
that was hard.
Yeah,
like emotionally,
stressful.
Probably the toughest thing I'll ever experience in my life. Going in and seeing them literally helpless, and there's nothing I can do.
No.
Like they're at the whim of the nurses, and thankfully, like I say, touch wood, they came out with no lasting health issues. But for the first week, it was very much because I think Zach was tiny.
Yeah,
he was on oxygen pretty much from the day he was born.
Yeah,
Charlie was on and off oxygen, so every time we went in, something different had happened.
They're
not growing much, they're not taking on board, need to feed them more, but they're not sleeping, all this kind of stuff. We had to feed them through tubes. You had to be taught how to feed them through tubes. And again, it's something you'll never experience unless you have to do it, and hopefully people don't, because it is very stressful and traumatic. But that was probably the hardest part. Because as well for me, Helen was in hospital for the first 2 weeks. The twins were in NICU. I had Harrison at home, and I had a business to run. So it was like...
that's a lot of extremes that you're getting pushed and pulled in directions.
So I had to make sure financially, we still had a mortgage to pay, we still had to live, we still had to eat. So I couldn't not work. But I had Harrison at home. He wasn't at school. He was only 2, 3.
Who doesn't fully understand this whole situation.
We want to make sure he's getting some one-on-one attention, so he's not just left to the side.
But also you want to be...
But I need to be in hospital for the twins. I need to be there for Helen. And it's like, and they weren't in the same room. So Helen was on one ward, the twins were in another ward. I wasn't allowed to stay for longer than 2 hours at one point. So it was just a lot to take in.
You've done well to come out.
But like I say, we were lucky with the family support we got. We had parents on either side that were able to come and look after Harrison for a day, or morning, so I could go to hospital, come back, I'd have him for the afternoon. But that was tough.
God, I bet. It sounds very hard.
But we got through it, and obviously, thankful that we did.
So, how have you ever, like, as time has gone on, how have you found, like, the balance? Have you found it becoming easier as you've got used to, like, certain things, like, especially when they start to go to school, that becomes a bit easier, I think?
I think from the school age, particularly for Harris, I mean, the twins go to school in September.
Promised land.
Yeah. If we get our life back again. I've always had this thing, like I say, the freedom of being able to do what I want. I wanted to be able to take Harrison to school, the kids to school.
Yeah.
Not every day, because obviously I know I can't do that every day, but have that availability to do that. So something that one of the house rules we have is that I do 3 school runs a week.
Yeah.
So I'll drop either Harrison off at school or the twins off at preschool once a week each, and then I'll pick Harrison up from school 1 day a week. So that gives me that kind of what I call parenting role with the school, rather than just leaving it all up to Helen.
It
releases some pressure for her. So when
it's a nice thing to do as well. Like, I drop our kids off at school, and it's just nice. I feel like, I don't know, school sometimes gets a bad rep at the moment for some reason, but I feel like the sense of community within a school is one of the only community things that we've kind of got left. And so when you're talking to other parents and stuff, and making those connections and with other kids' parents and stuff, I feel like that's just nice. I enjoy that anyway. I'm quite social,
and I think for me as well, like, I wanted to be a part of Harrison's friendship group. Yeah. So if I'm turning up to school after the first year or so, and I don't know his best friend's mum or dad, I feel like I'm the outsider, and I want to be involved in that. So that was something we always said that I wanted to do. Nice. So obviously it'll carry on with the twins when they go to school as well. So it's a little bit, I'd say it's a little bit easier to transition to being at school age with the balance of family and work life. And as well, maybe because I've embedded it now. Yes. That's the standard now. So clients expect that 2 days a week, 8 o'clock till 9:30, I'm not available. One day a week, I will always finish at 2:30, not 3:30.
And it's those boundaries, I think. If you set the boundaries...
It's tough for the first few weeks, months, but then people realise it and they respect it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's tough for you, and like it's been tough for me sometimes. Yeah. Because then you feel guilty as well when you're not working. Yeah. You feel guilty if you're not working. You feel guilty if you're not spending time with the kids. You feel guilty if you're not spending time with your wife. And then it's just, there's a million guilt things that you have to kind of manage. But at the same time, if you put those boundaries in place, that's what, me personally, I've needed to have those kind of, I will work 9 to 5, and like on a Wednesday, for example, I'll leave at 2:45 to then pick up the kids and take them swimming, and that's just a thing that happens.
Regardless of how busy work is, that's
and
the norm.
Generally now I won't work out of hours. Sometimes I will because of stuff, but generally, and that boundaried approach has had such a significantly positive impact on the business.
I think you said it earlier, you become more efficient as well. Like, I'm the same as you. I work 6 till 4. That's it. I'm home at 4. I get home at 4 o'clock, so I can be there to either cook tea, or if Helen's cooking tea, I'll play with the kids. And then 1 day a week I finish earlier to go pick them up from school. But that structured approach just means that life is easier. Like you know where you are. You know that once 4 o'clock happens, clients aren't going to be messaging you. They're not going to be asking for a session. If they do, you just say, no, I don't work that hour.
It's easy for work, and then it's easier just to not feel as guilty.
And because of that, you can structure your day around it. Like I know I like a spreadsheet, but I also like planning time. So I know between certain hours, I'll block myself out. So I'm doing admin. So I know my Monday is the same Monday structure, week in, week out. And that means that I know for that hour and a half, I'm going to be as productive as I can, because that's the only time that day I've got. So like I say, it's made me more efficient with what I do, having that rigid, structured approach.
Yeah, which is great, isn't it?
Because I see some friends, like I've got friends in the teaching industry that, granted, they're very high up, assistant heads and things like that, but they'll get in from work at 6 o'clock, have tea with the kids for half an hour, and then back on the laptop till 11 o'clock at night. And it's like, to me, that isn't a lifestyle. No. That's you surviving. Yes. You're not in charge of your life. You can't do what you want when you want. And I know every industry is different. You can't always do that in every job. Yeah. But wherever possible, I'm a big advocate that people should do their best to do that. Yeah. Because you're not going to get time back with your kids.
You're not.
There's an age when they don't want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
So those annoying moments where they want to, like you said, play pretend tea parties or do a jigsaw, or can you come and ride my bike with me or whatever like that. Like when they get to 9 or 10, they're not going to want to do it. So make the most of it. And that's one of the things that really drives me personally.
And it's forever that balance of being that kind of provider, like you said, and bringing in the money, but also having enough time. And I think you can get better at that balance, but I don't think that kind of like juggle ever goes away, because it changes, doesn't it?
Of course
it changes based on like you, but also your kids and whatever your wife wants to do. And I think just getting used to that juggle is...
Because I think I'm at that tipping point now with my career where I said there jokingly, I've had enough of 5:30 starts now. I'm getting to that page. I'm nearly 40. Like, I want a bit more a bit more sleep. Would be nice.
How selfish of you.
Well, I know, to want to be able to go to sleep and not have 4 hours sleep every night. I'm at that point where I'm making changes to transition to my next phase, where I'm doing less of the early morning starts. Yeah,
which you deserve, I think. Because you have got better and better at what you do, and now you're honing your craft in a different way and trying to be smarter.
Yeah,
so how are you doing that out of interest? Like, so you mentioned it to me a bit about like the more the corporate approach and offering like a unique service to businesses.
So COVID taught me, and I imagine a lot of PTs, the skill of having to move online. Because obviously gyms were shut, we couldn't have people around. So I did a lot of online coaching during COVID, where I'd guide people through the lifestyle, nutrition, training, but externally without ever seeing them, or on Zoom or whatever, phone calls. And again, that's where I dabbled with the 12-week plans, the 8-week plans, but I kind of found my little niche with the actual one-to-one coaching online. And I've just kind of continued that. And since, what was the lockdown, 2021, 22, since then I've continued that in conjunction on the side with my PT. So I do, let's say, 25 hours of PT a week, 5-10 hours of online coaching a week. And that just kind of grew and grew. But one of the, if you like, regular results I was getting with people online is that their businesses were benefiting, because a lot of people, obviously financially, the people who can afford that kind of service, either a manager, they own a business, or a CEO, and they were finding that they had more energy, better stress management. They were able to deal with work more productively, whilst also getting slimmer, getting stronger, whatever the goals might have been physically. So I kind of created this well-being program as a test with one of my online clients who owns a car showroom garage. I said, look, he offered his staff to test it, if you like, beta test it. And straight away, within 2-3 months, he was like, mate, they're all so much more energetic at work. We're getting more sales. They're more proactive of what they're trying to do. And all they're doing is eating better and exercising more. Like, they've not done anything different. He's not changed anything within the working lifestyle, but they're just healthier. I want to continue it.
Great.
So I did. And then I rolled that out to a second business. This time, it was a PT client's husband, who is a banker worldwide, travels the world, advising banks of how to run the financial industry in their countries, right? So a lot of traveling, different kettle of fish in terms of the way he lives his life compared to the client that his wife who I train, but wanted the same approach. So again, got their business on board. They loved it. I've rolled out to a third business now. So that's the kind of approach I'm looking at doing, is more of the well-being. And it's just come from, like I say, a results-driven experience of PT to online coaching, seeing the benefit from a well-being perspective, not just, I want to get a six-pack for summer, or I want to get big muscles or whatever. It's like, well, how do you feel? How do you perform? How is your work being affected? Is your family life getting better?
That for me is definitely more important. Is how it affects your mental health.
And it's not just about the way you look; it's about how you perform and feel day to day. So like I've been doing that now since probably about 6 months now. The corporate wellbeing, just kind of rolling out more. And that for me is kind of where I want to progress the business. That's
exciting to me, because I feel like that's quite new. There might be other people out there doing it, but maybe not doing it in the way that you're doing
it. So there's a lot of bigger companies, if you like. I mean, the biggest, most people will probably be aware of, is Vitality. They do like a workplace wellbeing program. But it's just access to services, if you like.
It's not mine as well, is it?
No, it's not me. But you get, I don't know, discounted gym membership. You'll get discounted like Gusto or stuff like that. So
we've got that.
So you get perks
similar.
and benefits.
But
it's not a program.
No, it's not.
Okay?
No.
It's not tailored to the individual. So what I offer is completely unique.
It's like a personal service.
And the way that I work it is that yes, a business will sign up, but I coach each of their employees one-to-one. So they're treated as if they've signed up themselves. They're not treated as a number, part of a bigger business. They're treated as an individual. So I don't know, Alison, who works on reception, wants to lose weight, wants to be more active. Okay, so she's going to be coached for that. Fred in production wants to get stronger. He's got back problems. He wants to play football the weekend. Okay, well, he's going to be coached for that. Right. So the overall goal is that the business will benefit from healthier, happier, fitter workforce. Therefore, they're going to be more productive but earn more profits. But individually, they're all coached as a person.
Sounds great.
So that's where I want to really push, and I enjoy it because I enjoy having a different challenge. I like it
because I suppose you work with like a wider range of people, but also you're helping a business, aren't you? At the same time, and we're going to chat about it, aren't we?
So it's going to. So I like the challenge of individuals because that's what my passion is. I like helping a person. But if I can then zoom out and say, actually, I've helped 10 people individually, and that business is now profiting.
I think that individual approach is really attractive to people because everyone has different reasons why they want to get into this, like to look after themselves or better. And I think that's a really great approach. Right. So we're going to go have some quick fire questions to cap off. So I hope these are going to be okay.
I'll try and answer.
So we'll ease you in. So, what does the future of PT look like?
I think it's going to be challenging with the advancement of AI and certain medications, which I think you've got a question about.
That's the next question.
So
AI is like this huge bomb. Like a technological bomb that, in my opinion, is the biggest change since the actual internet.
100%.
And now we're all living through this crazy. Are we going to start living with robots era? So then it potentially puts everyone's job under threat. But which jobs? I still, obviously we're humans, aren't we? So how can the human element? Anyway, I'm blabbing. So what do you think?
I often have people come to me and say, I've typed in how to lose weight on ChatGPT and they've told me this. And I'm like, okay, well, does that person know your life? I've typed it in and said, no, does that person know your life? What you know as a person is totally different to what a computer can tell you. And I think that's in my industry anyway. There'll be some coaches who maybe don't understand the personalization of a program.
So I suppose that's your new your approach. Is kind of future proof, hopefully.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. But if that person doesn't know your lifestyle, your home life, your nutritional requirements, your likes, your dislikes, your preferences in the gym, there's so many different facets to health and well-being that a computer can never tell you that. And if a coach is worried about that, my argument would be you're not delivering a personalised approach because I know none of my clients get what I give them from AI. But there'll be some that maybe think, actually, shit, I best start giving them more, but I don't.
Great. My wife's a therapist and she started to obviously hear about people getting therapy. And it's weird because to some degree it's good that people are having some kind of support, but also...
Surely it's dangerous though, that.
It could be dangerous. It opens up a whole new can of worms. Like ChatGPT is not a therapist that's been trained for the last 12 years. And again, doesn't know anything about their lives. And the nuance of sitting in front of someone and looking in their eyes and discussing stuff that really matters to a human. Anyway, fucking hell.
I could talk about AI for a long time.
We could go for it. We could do a full podcast on this. So then this is a new thing that I think is weird to me. But the weight loss injections has gone from like Kardashians having them to like Z-tier, like celebrities to now it's been rolled out
Yeah.
to anyone, really. What do you think?
I'm in the middle. I'm going to be honest, I'm completely in the middle.
Yeah.
Right, so if you are, I'll try and keep this as short as possible. If you are morbidly obese and you are physically too heavy to do any exercise, and you are from a, if you like, a behavioural point of view with nutrition, so maybe you struggle with relationship with food at some point in your life, and you physically cannot start your journey, right? They are fantastic, and they will help thousands of people get started, because it'll help them lose that first 5-10 kilos, so that they can
it's almost like kicking the snowball down the hill.
So then they can go to a gym, because at the moment, if you're 35, 40 stone and you try and go to the gym, you're going to hurt your body long term. Right? So lose the weight first. That'll help you do that. So then you can go to the gym and exercise. It might help teach you to eat less, because it reduces your appetite. Okay, so it reduces the signals to want to eat food.
But and I don't know anything about this, so excuse my ignorance, but if you stop taking those injections, aren't you just going to get your natural...
Yeah. So this is the problem, and this is the other side of the coin. So for those people, fantastic. If it's done in a way where they get the education, they learn, they get taught portion control, they understand the nutrition benefits of protein, carbs, fats, calories, understanding food tracking, understanding exercise output, all that kind of stuff. If you have the education, they'll be a great tool. If you are taking them to simply look good on a holiday, there are so many unknown health factors. Like there's pancreatic cancer risk. There's the effect it has on your thyroid. There's so many digestive issues, constipation, diarrhea.
It just doesn't seem
to
right.
do that for the sake of losing a dress size or getting six-pack so you can sit in an Ibiza nightclub or whatever. It's not worth it. Right, there's so many more facets to health and wellbeing that you need to focus on.
We're not sitting in Ibiza nightclubs anymore.
Not when you got kids. But yeah, I stand that I'm not against it, but for the average person, I am very much against it.
Yeah. I feel like back to the therapy thing, because obviously I know that quite well because my wife is a therapist. It's a bit like antidepressants. It's like you take them to help you feel better, to then have a snowball effect. To change your behaviours, to make more positive changes in your life and start making those changes, which then long term has a positive impact.
Yeah.
But you can't live your life on antidepressants.
It's not a fix.
No.
And that's what people are finding, is that they stop taking the jabs or stop having the jabs and their appetite goes through the roof. But because they've not understood the idea of quality of food, portion control, they instantly regain the weight. And they blame it's the jabs' fault. It's your laziness of not wanting to know the education behind it.
Yeah.
If you couple it together, then they can be very beneficial.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But the average person, I wouldn't say you should ever be considering it because of the health risks. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And to lose a couple of pounds just by jabbing something, you're getting off the black market. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You're just getting off the internet. You don't know what you're injecting
quite
yourself.
Unregulated.
Massively unregulated. They're going to be rolling out in pharmacists and chemists in the next...
Are they?
Yeah, they're looking at rolling out, so you can just apply to a GP. They'll give you a prescription. You go and get it, and just buy it from a chemist.
Does that mean more regulation?
To a certain degree of the supply, yes.
Yeah.
But there's no treatment with it. There's no kind of support with it. You're not going to get a nutrition plan. You're not going to get an exercise plan. You're just given the jab. So it's kind of back to square one again. Yeah. It's safer, but it's not any better for the long run.
God, it's an absolute minefield, isn't it?
Yeah.
On a lighter note, do you still get takeaways?
Yes.
Yeah.
Once or twice a week.
Do you? Once or twice a week? There we go.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of, we enjoy family takeaway night. And then me and Helen, we've always, like, you could argue, is it healthier as being a PT? But we've always had takeaways, me and Helen.
Yeah.
It's just part of what we are, who we are and what we do.
I love a takeaway.
And there's nothing wrong with any food. As long as it's balanced, there's nothing wrong with any food.
Yeah.
My approach is very much that lifestyle approach.
Yeah.
If you want to have a takeaway, fine. You just got to manipulate other factors within your life that week or that month to factor in. Great.
Okay. That makes me feel better about myself. The next question might not, though. Is alcohol the devil?
Yes and no. If your goal is to lose weight, yes. And that's because not just of the alcohol. So there's the calorie content of alcohol. There's the effect it has on your body physiologically.
Yeah.
But then it's the effect it has on your hunger, your cravings the next day, the way it impacts your sleep, the way it affects your hydration, the mood, motivation to want to do something. So you drink on a Friday night, you could be mentally and physically affected for 72 hours.
Yeah.
So your workout, even if you train in between that time, is going to be less productive. You're going to choose wrong foods. You're going to sleep worse. You're going to be more fatigued, less recovered. if your approach is lifestyle, you're not trying to lose weight, there's absolutely nothing wrong with factoring it in. But again, like with takeaways, you just simply have to balance it. And understand that the what's the phrase? The devil is in the dose. 1 or 2, absolutely fine. If you're having sinking 8 or 10 pints every week, then yeah, it's going to have an effect. But if your goal is focused on performance and fat loss, then yes, it is literally the devil.
Because
because there's so many factors it affects. It isn't just calories; it's the way it affects your body for the next 72 hours.
Okay, never mind. And lastly, can you get addicted to exercise?
Yes. I hold my hand up, I was at one point. Granted, I was younger, so I could physically do it.
Because it's endorphins, and it makes you feel good about yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's that effect. So it makes you feel mentally good, it makes you feel physically good. I argue with anyone if they say they don't feel better after a workout, physically and mentally. Okay, we all do.
Yeah.
But it's when you're at an age that you can do more, and maybe lack of education. I would say in my part when I was younger, you think, well, I can do 7 days straight. Well, I will do 7 days straight.
Yeah.
More is better.
Why not?
Surely.
Yeah.
I'm fine, so I can do it.
Yeah.
Now I couldn't do it. I mean, I train 4 or 5 times a week. Now that's it. 4 or 5 hours per week, done. Whereas back when I was in my early 20s, I was playing rugby 3 times a week, so training twice, playing a game on a Saturday. I'd train 5 days a week in the gym. I'd teach 8 spinning classes. So that's another 8 hours. So I must have been doing 15, 16 plus hours of exercise per week. And you get to the point where looking back, there's no wonder why I didn't really get that strong. I didn't really change my body shape. I didn't really perform to my best at any point because it's just way too much. But I was enjoying it. I was addicted to that feeling. I had that idea of more is better. If 4 hours is good, I'll do 5 hours. 5 hours is good, I'll do 7 hours. And push yourself.
Yourself.
Which if your goal is endurance based, so if like marathon or ultra marathon or Ironman or whatever, you have to get a bit of kind of tenacity to be able to do more and more and more. But if you want to just train to be strong, look good, or feel good, then there's definitely a tipping point where more is better, more is worse.
Anything, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Ultimately, you can never have too much of anything.
Yeah, and I've been forced by having a business and kids that I can't now. Do more than 5 hours, 4 hours.
So it's made you think a bit more pragmatically.
And I would hand on heart say now I'm turning 14 next year, and I'm probably in the best physical shape all round now than I was when I was...
You look like an absolute beast.
Thank you. But then when I was in my early 20s, when I was doing twice as much exercise.
So that's amazing, isn't it? First hand.
And I've made mistakes. I've made all the mistakes you can make in that time. But I've learned that more is certainly not better. Even if it makes you feel good, it's not always better.
Amazing. Well, that has been a really great chat. I've really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
I feel like I've been hyper concentrated throughout the whole thing, which is good for me. So if anyone wants to, any business or any person wants to contact you to talk about anything that we've discussed or your services, how does that happen?
I'm on LinkedIn, so if you search for Martyn Pace on LinkedIn, or my website setthepacehf.co.uk, all the information's on there. Or you can drop me an email, martin@setthepacehf.co.uk, and then just feel free to reach out, and I'll happily come in to talk to you, or jump on a Zoom call where you can talk about your business, what you're struggling with, the areas you want to improve, and then I'll explain how I can fill in the blanks, essentially. So
amazing. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.